Hello everyone and welcome to our channel.
In today's video, we're coming at you from the Plaza Hotel and Casino in downtown Las Vegas, where we'll be checking out one of the most talked about steakhouses in all of Las Vegas, Oscar's Steakhouse.
Named after former mob attorney and City of Las Vegas Mayor Oscar Goodman, Oscar's Steakhouse offers a unique but classic Las Vegas dining experience that pays homage to the Vegas of yesteryear. So don't go anywhere. We've got a lot to show you on today's episode of James and Paul Try It All.
So before we start, we want to take a moment to thank the Plaza Hotel and Casino and their marketing team for supporting our channel via a dining credit. We are always transparent when anything of value is being provided to us in support of making our content. So we do need to inform you that a credit of $100 was provided by the Plaza, with the remaining difference of the bill being funded by our own funds. Now that the disclosures are out of the way, let's get to the content.
We've just been seated here at Oscar's with a gorgeous window side table, a fantastic view of the Fremont Street experience, circa immediately to our left, Golden Gate to our right. What a fantastic, glorious view for to enjoy dinner with. Now, before we dive into our meal tonight, I want to take a moment to stop and thank the marketing team, specifically our contact, Sarah, with Plaza, for giving us this opportunity, because they have generously given us a substantial dining credit tonight in order to help offset the cost of this video so we can bring you this content. So thank you, Sarah. It really means a lot to us. I cannot wait to enjoy this dinner. I've heard so much about Oscars. I'm glad we're finally checking it off on our list here. However, don't go anywhere. We've got so much to show you.
Now, if you have never been to Oscar's Steakhouse, this building was featured in the movie Casino. While you are dining here in this main dining room, you are dining in a piece of history, and I could not be happier.
Our cocktails have arrived. I went with their most popular cocktail, the Downtown Smash, which is Deep Eddy vodka, lime, and muddled strawberry and blackberry. Now, our server, Miguel, said that this tastes just like a strawberry soda. Let's see if he's right. That's heavenly. He's not kidding. That strawberry flavor is so strong. In the best possible way, it masks the vodka. I see why this is the most popular cocktail. 5 out of 5. Highly recommend it.
All right, everyone. So for my cocktail, I went with the perfect gin and tonic. Now, I am a huge fan of a gin and tonic cocktail to begin with. So this one's going to be aviation gin with an elderflower fever tree. That sounds delightful. Oh, that is an amazing gin and tonic. I'm just getting the notes of the juniper from the gin. I also see a little bit of star anise just kind of floating in this cocktail. Giant ice cube. This has got a lot of herbal flavor. It's a nice punch. This is a delightful and probably, dare I say, perfect gin and tonic. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5.
So we've just placed our actual dinner order and we've got so much food coming. I have no idea how we're gonna eat it all, but I'm very excited because it all sounds so delicious. So we're gonna be starting off with some salad and soup and some meatballs. I hear the meatballs are fantastic. Not only do they come highly recommended from our server, but we have seen them in other Vegas content creators' videos as well. I can't wait to try them because I love a good old meatball. For our entrees, we went ahead and ordered the rib cap, which is one of the steaks that they're most well known for here. Now, Paul and I, despite having been to many, many steakhouses in our life, have never had a rib cap. We also ordered the braised short rib ricini. Then we've got, of course, a couple sides coming out, some glazed mushrooms, as well as mashed potatoes. And somehow, we still have to save room for dessert. This is all for you guys. We wanted to show you the entire experience of what you can expect when you come to Oscar's Steakhouse.
If you prefer alfresco dining, Oscar's Steakhouse also has an outdoor patio that overlooks Main Street and the west end of the Fremont Street experience.
Wow, all of our starters came out all at once. Let's go ahead and start because we got a lot to cover. So we ordered the Cardini Caesar, which I did not realize is a wedge Caesar. Looks delicious. We got some fresh cracked pepper on top, freshly grated parm, little crispy croutons on the side. We did order one Caesar, but they actually split it for both of us, which was very nice of them. So already go you, Oscars. I'm impressed. That's delicious. It's probably one of the best steakhouse Caesars I've ever had. That Caesar dressing is so creamy and delicious and salty and savory and briny with that anchovy. It's fantastic. I love the wedge aspect to it too. So that way you still get a little bit of crunch from the inside that's not completely soaking with the dressing. Normally, I would have gone with the wedge salad, but I think the Caesar was still a very good choice and I would highly recommend it. 5 out of 5. I gotta be honest, that's a great Caesar.
Okay, so I am gonna start off with one of my favorite things, and that is French onion soup. Now, I'm gonna definitely say I can see the cheese baked on top. It looks like Gruyere, just as a normal French onion soup. Now, as I'm pushing my spoon in, I can clearly see that the giant crouton is just soaking on the top. Let's see if we can get a good cheese pull. Oh, now that's a cheese pull. If there wasn't a cheese pull, I don't know what it would be. Let's go ahead and give this a taste. I do want to say that is a delightful cheese pull on this French onion soup. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of the broth. Salty, beefy. There are a lot of complex flavors going on in this French onion soup. You can definitely tell that the onions have been caramelized for hours. I think this is probably a 5 out of 5 for this French onion soup. If you are here at Oscars, go with a classic steakhouse staple. Get yourself some of this French onion soup to start your meal. You will not be disappointed.
It's now meatball time. Now these came highly recommended, as I mentioned earlier. You get 2 meatballs per order, a little fresh ricotta on the side, marinara, pesto. I can't wait. What I'm gonna do to make this easy is I'm gonna take 1 meatball. There we go. That's a thick ball of meat. This is a beef and veal meatball. Obviously veal is beef. I love veal. I'm Italian. Don't judge me. That's a great meatball. That's an absolutely fantastic meatball. That reminds me of my grandmother's meatballs. Holy crap, wow. It just melts in your mouth. It's so perfectly seasoned. I wish there wasn't just 2 in an order. I want 12. Absolutely 100% perfect in every way possible. A 5 out of 5. I can't even complain. I legitimately do mean this. I want to stress, Paul and I will always be honest in our reviews. Whether we are collaborating with a business or not, we have maintained that we will always be honest. I have nothing bad to say about this meatball. At all. We have been told that we have to try their house-made bread, cute little bread loaf here, with the marinara. So I'm gonna take one of these little guys off the side here. I'm just gonna dip it right in the marinara, get a little smash of that ricotta. The bread's fine, I can't lie. It's okay. It's, your standard bread service. The marinara definitely helps. Meatball's still mind-blowing. So meatball's 5 out of 5. Bread, I'm gonna give it a 2.5 out of 5. Middle of the road, nothing amazing. However, we're not paying for bread, so I can't really complain. It's free. That being said, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this meatball.
I know that James reviewed the meatballs, but I do need to say something about it. I am someone who cooks at home. I make meatballs from scratch. You can definitely tell that a lot of care was taken into what they used to bind these meatballs together, because the texture is just perfect. You can definitely tell that everything was minced finely. It's not very mealy. If you actually look right there, it definitely shows that perfect binders were used, so they're not filled with filler. You're also getting the distinct taste between the beef and the veal. I really wish there was more than just 2 in the order.
Right.
James is right that these meatballs are a 5 out of 5.
Now I want to go ahead and just mention that Oscar Steakhouse does happy hour every day from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Those unbelievable, delicious, mind-blowing meatballs are on the happy hour menu at a discounted price. So something tells me Paul and I will be back here for happy hour in the near future.
All right, everyone, we are gonna go ahead and finish up our appetizers, and we will be back after these messages. Stay tuned.
Don't go anywhere. We'll return to this episode of James and Paul Try It All after these messages. We would like to take a moment to give another round of shout-outs. If we missed your name, we do apologize, but know that we do see you and we do appreciate your support. So whether you've been supporting us on Instagram, in our YouTube comments, have met us in person, or are a fellow creator who has given us advice, feedback, or YouTube wisdom, you all rock, and thank you for the support. As always, feel free to leave a comment. We love seeing your feedback as it helps us improve the channel.
Hey everyone, before we continue, please consider hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon for notifications whenever a new episode of James and Paul Try It All is released. It really helps us out and helps our content be seen by more viewers just like you. Thanks so much in advance, we appreciate it.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
All right, everyone, our mains have just arrived. Now, I am gonna go ahead and start us all off with the braised short rib rossini. This is on top of a bed of potato puree, spinach, and it is topped with some Hudson Valley foie gras. Let's go ahead and give this a taste. And as you can clearly see, it is cutting off of the bone. Now, short rib is an amazing cut of meat. Go ahead and get a little taste of that. It is buttery, it is silky. I do want to try it with a little bit of the foie gras on top. Now, again, I know this may be controversial for some of you, and I do apologize, but this is something that is a part of fine dining. And with that being said, it normally does complement a Rossini dish. So let's go ahead and get a taste of that foie gras. That is pure heaven right there. The foie gras adds an extra buttery and silky texture to this Rossini. I cannot be mad at this at all. This is gonna immediately get a 5 out of 5 for me. With that being said, I don't wanna eat all of this without James getting a taste. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this over to James while he tries the rib cap.
All right, it is time to try the rib cap. As I mentioned earlier, it came highly recommended, and not just by our server. I have seen so many people online talk about enjoying a rib cap. I have never had a rib cap, so we're gonna find out what this is like. I'm just wanna find the grain on this, because honestly, I worked with meat for a long time. I'm a firm believer that you always cut against the grain for the best cut. That looks gorgeous. I did not cut against the grain. Oh man. No, wait, I did. I'm blind, never mind. Pay no attention to me. It's dark in here. That's wonderful. The smoky, beefy flavor is fantastic. This is a wonderful little mixture of almost like a filet and a ribeye, somewhere in between. It's not as lean as a filet, it's not as fatty as a ribeye. Kind of got the best of both worlds there. This is a wonderful cut. The next time I see it on a steakhouse menu, I might choose the rib cap. Moving on to our sides here, we've got some mashed potatoes that look just creamy and buttery and delicious. Got some nice little freshly chopped chives there. I love chives and mashed potatoes. Paul and I actually keep a giant container of like dried chives at home that we get from a restaurant supply store, just so that way we can use them in mashed potatoes at home. Let's give this a shot. Oh man, these look so creamy and buttery. They might put Joel Robuchon's to shame. Yeah, that's a lot of butter. Oh man, that's good though. The salt level is also perfect. I'm a firm believer that, like meat, when it comes to mashed potatoes, salt it like you mean it. And they definitely did. Nothing wrong with that.
Now for our other side, I decided to go with some glazed mushrooms. Now, when you're at a steakhouse, I always highly suggest going with the mushrooms. They just add something extra to your steak. So let's go ahead and give this a taste. There's definitely a very good punch of umami that comes through in these mushrooms. So if you pair it with the meat, you're gonna get that perfect punch of flavor. I could just eat nothing but these mushrooms. If you are normally the type of person to pass on mushrooms at a steakhouse, I strongly urge you not to, and go ahead and give them a try.
Paul is absolutely right. It's one of the best sides, in our opinion, to accompany a steak meal. If you're not doing something like cream spinach or whatnot, mac and cheese, it's all fine. But if you're looking for something a little bit lighter, mushrooms are what we generally go with. And we would absolutely recommend these bad boys.
Now, one thing I did not notice about these mushrooms is that they also have little mini pearl onions inside of it. So not only are you getting all the umami from these mushrooms, you're getting onion flavor. All these onions are tender.
Alrighty, everyone, now that we've gone through our entrees and our sides, we're gonna enjoy these for a few minutes, and we'll be back with dessert very shortly. Stay tuned. All right, it is time for dessert, and we went with the deep dish cookie skillet as recommended by our server, Miguel. Frankly, I love a chocolate chip cookie. I love a cookie skillet. I'm gonna shut up before the ice cream melts any further. Let's get a nice little scoop of that. Let's get this nice little edge piece. Oh, it's so soft, so gooey. Now, I don't know if we've mentioned on the channel before, but I have a pretty mean chocolate chip cookie recipe that I have perfected over many, many years. So let's see how this compares. Very hot, first off, but that's a good chocolate chip cookie. I think mine's better, but that's just me. That's still a really good chocolate chip cookie. Tasty with a little bit of ice cream, perfectly gooey. That's a great cookie skillet. 4 out of 5. We're gonna eat this cookie really quickly, and then we're gonna give you our final thoughts on our experience at Oscar's Steakhouse and let you know whether we think it's worth your time and money on your next Vegas trip. Don't go anywhere, there's still more to come. We are back up in our room. I'm so full.
I am so full.
I feel like I'm about to burst out of this shirt, actually. Oscar's Steakhouse, in my mind, does definitely rank up there with some of the best steakhouses I've ever been at, even comparing closely to Golden Steer. It was really just a wonderful experience. Our server, Miguel, was fantastic. He took great care of us, as well as just he was a wealth of knowledge and had a lot of experience working in the Vegas area. And it was just really a pleasure speaking to him. He really kind of made the meal even that much more enjoyable.
Yes.
As you guys saw in earlier in the video, the food was to die for.
Everything about that food was just amazing.
Yes, it really was. It was so expertly prepared, so well seasoned, just perfectly balanced. Steak was perfectly cooked.
I mean, the rossini was velvety, buttery, just
So rich.
Exactly. Everything
So
was perfect
rich.
about that rossini.
And in fact, the only thing negative I had to say about the entire experience was the bread.
Yeah, the bread. The bread was just okay.
It was fine.
It was a little dry.
It was a little dry. Beyond that, that's the worst complaint that we
Yeah.
had. That the complimentary bread service was a little dry. I think that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else was stellar. I think that kind of makes up for that.
I do want to point out, despite the fact that the Plaza did help us quite significantly to offset the cost of this meal, the total was not unreasonable.
No.
Well-
It came to about $269 before the credit.
Right. And then that was 2 cocktails, salad, soup, meatballs, 2 entrees, and dessert. And we have easily spent that much or more at other places that are not nearly as good.
Oh yeah, we've spent more than that on the strip. But dare I say it, I mean, the price is definitely on par with what we would pay at steakhouses at home.
Paul and I were discussing off camera that if you, our viewers, or our friends were to say, James, Paul, where would you recommend that we go for one nice upscale dinner while visiting Vegas? I think Oscars would absolutely
Yeah.
be
Definitely.
within our first top 5 choices. Hands down, 5 out of 5. On that note, my friends, if you've enjoyed today's video, be sure and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon for notifications whenever a new episode of James and Paul Try It All is released every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Each Saturday, we're going to bring you more hotel reviews, more restaurant reviews, and more attraction reviews, plus a whole lot more from Las Vegas and beyond.
We do want to also take a big moment to thank you for liking, sharing the content, and just being supportive of the channel.
If you ever see us here in Vegas or wherever, stop and say hello. We always love meeting our viewers. It means the world to us, and because it's the reason that we keep doing this. If we didn't think that we were potentially making some sort of small difference in people's lives, we wouldn't be doing this, because this isn't easy and it isn't cheap. It is a labor of love because we enjoy doing it, and we want to bring you guys this fun content.
On that note, thank you so much for watching and have a great one.
Have a great week, guys. We'll see you next week. So before we head into dinner at Oscar Steakhouse, I just gotta say we came up here to the 3rd floor because I saw a sign for a place called Las Vegas Jerkies. Paul and I both love jerky, especially good, fresh-made jerky. So we're gonna have to come back tomorrow when they're open before we check out, because I would love to bring home some jerky.